Hi everyone, welcome to Ask a Black Woman, where we get real answers from real women. Today is the mother episode. I'm your host, DeVal Ellis, and we'll be speaking with these lovely ladies here to my right. We have Janine, Christine, Tiffany, Adira, and Nate. How you feeling, ladies?
Good.
Feel good without the kids?
Yeah.
Ready to talk about them kids? Well, let's jump right into it. Just generic question. What does motherhood mean to you guys?
Motherhood means creating a legacy for your children that they themselves will hope to create one for theirs, and something that is respectable, commendable, and something worth looking up to me.
To me, it means being willing to take responsibility for the next generation and understand that you're shaping what the future will be for our country.
Wow, that's an important answer. Both of you guys, you talked about legacy and the future. Did you all plan to be mothers?
Absolutely not.
I would say no. I was a teacher. Well, I'm a teacher, and I think that was my philosophy. Is I'm a teacher, so I don't have to have kids. I'll take care of other people's kids.
Okay.
So that was never my mission to be somebody's mother, because that's so much more intense, because there's so much more responsibility, because they're mine now, so I really can't mess it up.
I don't think anyone plans to be a mother, a parent. You're never prepared for that. Like, nothing can prepare you for that.
There's no book.
No book.
We have a very diverse group of women here as far as relationships. Shout out to Jade, the producer. She put that together on purpose, Jade. But question, how important do you think it is for our generation, the younger generation, to see Black family units? How important is it?
I think it's really important, but I also think it's important for them to see it in different ways, because it's changing. So like when I was pregnant with my first son, I'll never forget the CEO at my school. Her first words to me were, "Oh, but you're not married, and what kind of role model is that, for your students?" Right? She tried it, and I had to explain to her, like, I'm not married, but that does not negate the woman that I am or the man that he is in the family that we're about to create. It just so happens that this happened first. And we have very clear, candid conversations about what's our next step and what our relationship is going to be like and where it's going to be. So I think kids need to see that families are different. And I think it's more about the values and how strong it is, how loving it is, how nurturing it is, because everybody's family is different. And I've kind of learned that too, is being a teacher, that every kid in that room has a different family at home. Right. And so and just because it's a husband and a wife, that doesn't mean it's happy, that doesn't mean it's working, and so I think they need to see different modes, and they can choose which one they want. And so I'm not saying, don't accept it. If you want to be married, tell him you want to be married, and make sure he knows that.
Not married, married.
Okay,
Married.
but if you don't, you don't have to.
Right, I agree, because sometimes, things just don't work out. So them seeing a good working relationship between you and your partner, I think that does more for them than having the title of a husband and the wife, but the house is in shambles and you guys hate each other and you're arguing and bickering. I mean, those types of things, in my own opinion, align your children to recreate that self-same pattern, and in turn end up miserable and hurt in the future and thinking, oh, this is right because this is what I saw mommy and daddy do. You know what I mean? Instead of creating their own path and kind of learning as they go, but in a better way, because they see where mommy is happy even though she's not with daddy, she's with this person, but it's a normal relationship. You know what I mean? Not fighting and bickering, or, we sleeping in separate rooms. That's not the life, and that's not an example of a good household or family unit, so to speak.
Well, speaking about children and family units, studies come out that say there are more single Black moms in this country than any other race.
When it comes down to it, I believe that in a certain sense, Black people as a whole were aligned for family units to be divided. And I think that was done in a systemic way. I believe that, they created certain systems to enable the women to feel that they did not have a need for the men. And in turn, it caused, a lack of worth for the Black man. And he's very needed, He is someone who is valuable. He is someone who needs to be in the home, or that your young men need to look up to. But I feel that systemically we were programmed to feel that, we can do this without them, vice versa, things like that. And it's unfortunate because it's not accurate information, in my opinion.
We could be strong, but we're stronger together.
Mm-hmm.
you know? And I think that that's the biggest message that we could send to our children, to all the young kids nowadays. Like, we're stronger together, you know, and we have to uplift the Black man, uplift our families. It's just so important right now. Like, it's so super important. And I think we all share the same sentiments, because our children, like, we look in their eyes and we just see so much hope, and like, it's just.
Well, not to cut you off,
Yeah.
but I want to ask a direct question. What do you think the hardest thing is to do as a mom in 2017 parenting? What are the things you're worried about the most raising Black children?
Did I have boys?
I have 2 boys.
I have
And
2
I have
boys.
I got 2 boys. I got 2 boys.
I have 2 boys, and how do I like prepare them for that
For that,
life and
yes.
for the stress, and it's a lot of stress that I don't know as a woman.
Yes.
Because like, we have stress, but we also
Yes.
can navigate circles a little bit better because we're
Yes,
women.
Because we're women.
And like, how do I prepare, you know, for those moments when he comes home and something has gone awry in the street and he doesn't know how to deal with it, right? Or, you know, his father is on 10 and I got 3 men now I got to worry about.
Right,
you know, like,
right.
I got to worry about 3 men coming home every day.
I had an issue when I took my son out to get a haircut. He was 1, and I took him to the barber shop. It was like a chain barber shop, and there was a woman of another race there, and she saw him and she just started like fidgeting and getting uncomfortable, as if he was going to pull a gun out of his stroller. And he's a baby. And I didn't realize until that moment at 1 that I was going to have to prepare myself for my son being profiled at 1 years old and being seen a certain way. And that's scary to me, like having to raise a Black man in 2017 who is constantly profiled everywhere he goes.
No matter what. I
No
mean,
matter what.
they're children. They're innocent. My son is very tall for his age. He's 10. So he's already encountered some of what it's like to be profiled as a young Black man. And it's awful because he's dark-skinned. And it's like they tend to look at the darker African Americans in a different light. And it's weird because I now find myself reaffirming how he should act when he's faced with different types of opposition, or if something were to happen with police. I mean, because you see in the news, they spare no age ranges. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You just have to, you know, guard yourself and kind of be careful how you handle things, because you can't necessarily do the same things that someone of another nationality very well may be able to do and get away with it. So that is very challenging. And then the rise of civil tensions is making it more scary. So
what age do you have the talk with your Black son or daughter?
From since they're young.
Every
single day.
Yeah, as
You
often
prepare.
as it comes to mind.
Yes, you have to prepare them for the real world. Like, it's unfortunate, but I see too many times that our children don't necessarily have the opportunity to have a childhood like other people do, because they have to face too many realities so young. Okay?
And it's hard to let them be free when we're fearful.
Yeah.
Because, you know, because my best friend all the time, she said, let that boy be free. You know, he want to take off his shoes, let him take off his shoes. But it's hard, like, for them to be free, like, when we're a little fearful. And I think that's the tension of, like, I want him to grow, I want him to explore and try stuff out, but, like, I'm a little scared.
The world
So,
is
like,
changing. It's
yeah.
not the same. I mean, I'm in my early 30s, and it's just, there's always this, I have this constant fear for my son, and he's 10 right now. The world is so different. It's not nice. I mean, they don't even play at playgrounds the same. They barely play at playgrounds anymore. But yeah, like you said, you know, when you have this fear, it's hard to let them go and want to let them go and let them grow and experience life in the world, because you really don't know what they're going to get hit with. And it's hard to, how can you can't prepare them for everything. Right. That's one of the things you realize once you become a parent. Like, why did I become a parent? I can't save you, you know, from everything, and you want to protect your kids.
If you could say something to Black men as a voice of Black mothers to help them learn about Black mothers, what would you say to them?
Know your heritage, know where you came from, and know where you're going. Because if you don't have any direction or any path, then the world will swallow you up.
Knock on the door, ask the child how they're doing, smile at the child, If you've done that, you've done 50% of the job. Because as a black man, just showing up and being a presence and showing how strong and confident black men are, you've done half the job. You've helped us out.
I would say just because it didn't work maybe for our parents doesn't mean you can't be a great parent. So just because like maybe we had, little janky daddies and mommies and maybe it wasn't so great growing up for us doesn't mean that you can't turn around and be a really great parent and a really great help to a mother.
I want to say that black men, they need to engage with your children. Not only like take them to the movies, no, engage, like play, enjoy your children, no matter what the circumstances are. Enjoy your children because that's what they remember, okay? They remember you playing basketball with them. They remember you riding bikes with them. They remember that and it sticks with them. Engage, enjoy your children.
Yes, I agree. I like to speak to the inner man and the black man. So even the one who is not evolved as a father as of yet, I just like to talk to them and say, you are a great father. You are a great man. You can overcome the obstacles that you face. I mean, you can pour into your children and create a legacy in your sons that they would be proud of when they're grown and that they would pass on to their children. I think that all black men have an awesome heritage and one that's worthy to be passed on to their forward generations.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean, women, first of all, as a black man, I want to say that I'm proud. I thank you for joining us, being so truthful. As a black man dealing with America, sometimes it's hard for me. I got 2 boys. I go through the same fears. And it feels really good to know that there are black women out here who are articulate and eloquent like you, who can continue to mother our boys, but it hits me deep. Well, thank you, ladies, for your candor and your honesty. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. This is DeVal Ellis with MadameNoire. This is Ask a Black Woman, where we ask real women real questions to get real answers. And this is the final episode, so if you haven't seen all of our episodes, make sure you go back on the season and subscribe to our YouTube channel.